we're all ready.
Yeah, right here.
Alright. Good for you?
Right.
Come ahead!
Quiet on the set!
Grab your fedora and bullwhip and start humming the familiar tune. This is Michael Falkner, and it's showtime on the 30th anniversary of Raiders of the Lost Ark at your weekly Podioplex, brought to you by the Chronic Rift. Starting out with the weekend's box office results for Monday, June 13th. At number 10 is last week's number 7, Fast 5. Edging out Fast Cars at number 9 is last week's number 6, the God of Thunder himself, Thor. Holding steady at number 8 is the Woody Allen romantic comedy Midnight in Paris, which continues to have an upward trend week to week. But the future doesn't look so bright for this week's number 7. New release, Judy Moody and the Not Bummer Summer took in only $6 million against the $20 million budget. Number 6 is last week's number 5, Bridesmaids, which is still performing rather well. Number 5 is last week's number 4, Pirates of the Caribbean on Stranger Tides, earning $10.8 million to bring the captain's coffers to $209 total. Slipping to number 4 is last week's third place winner, Kung Fu Panda 2, slicing off $16.7 million for DreamWorks. But still hanging on to the third place is last week's runner-up. The Hangover Part 2 added another $18.5 million to the film's already impressive $217 million total. This week's second is last week's prize, X-Men First Class, taking in an additional $25 million to bring the Groovy Mutants to $99. In first place, it's a mysterious new release, Super 8, raking in $38 million toward its $50 million budget. After months of hype and secrecy, critics fear that the film was neither a failure nor an overwhelming success. The analysts suggest that the secrecy was held too long, and that advertising didn't do enough to bring in the opening weekend audiences. Paramount Pictures is putting faith in word of mouth for following weeks, but with films like Green Lantern, Cars 2, and the third Transformers installment remaining this month, it's not likely that Super 8 will become a blockbuster. This week's new releases will either have audiences seeing green or doing the Penguin Shuffle. Starting with the DC Comics franchise, Ryan Reynolds stars as the Green Lantern.
Okay, all right. Place the ring and speak the oath. The oath. Because everybody knows the oath. I, Hal Jordan, do solemnly swear to pledge allegiance to a lantern that I got from a dying purple alien in a swamp, to infinity and beyond. By the power of Grayskull. What the hell? Come on, if you can find me 100 miles in the middle of nowhere, you think that you go! Brightest day and blackest night. No evil shall escape my sight. Let those who worship evil's might beware my power. Green Lantern's light.
Also starring Blake Lively and Peter Sarsgaard, this comic book movie focuses on Hal Jordan, a test pilot who is granted a mystical green ring that bestows him with otherworldly powers, and earns him membership in an intergalactic squadron tasked with keeping peace in the universe. His mission is to combat Parallax, an enemy which threatens to destroy the universe's balance of power. Green Lantern is rated PG-13. Mr. Popper's Penguins, starring Jim Carrey, Carla Gugino, and Angela Lansbury, is the second film opening a wide release this week.
You ready for the big birthday celebration fiesta?
Yeah, Penguin! 6!
It's good counting, Billy.
Do they have names?
This one's Captain. And that's Cloudy. Hey! Voidy. One's Stinky.
He loves me.
That's Lovey. And that's Nimrod.
After businessman Mr. Popper receives a penguin as a gift, he soon finds himself the caretaker of 5 more of the seabirds, and he subsequently changes his life and home to accommodate his new charges. Based on the children's book by Richard and Florence Atwater, Mr. Popper's Penguins is rated PG. 3 films are in limited release, starting with The Art of Getting By, starring Freddie Highmore, Emma Roberts, and Michael Angarano. The story is about George, a lonely and fatalistic teen who's made it all the way to his senior year, without ever having done his schoolwork, and his friend Sally, a popular but complicated girl who recognizes in him a kindred spirit. The Art of Getting By is rated PG-13. David Carr stars in Page 1, A Year Inside the New York Times, a documentary filmed over 1 year at the New York Times and its newly created Media Desk. The film focuses on a group of reporters and how they work to keep the paper in step with the transforming media landscape. Page 1 is rated R. The last on the slate is Buck, a PG-13 documentary on renowned horse whisperer Buck Brannaman. June 14th brings a plethora of DVD choices, and the selection begins with Battle Los Angeles. Starring Aaron Eckhart and Michelle Rodriguez, this science fiction war film focuses on a Marine staff sergeant who has just had his retirement approved, but is pulled back onto active duty to assist a second lieutenant and his platoon as they fight to reclaim the city of Los Angeles from alien invaders. Battle Los Angeles is rated PG-13. The Concert, starring Alexei Guskov and Melanie Laurent, is a foreign film about Andrei Semyonovich Filippov, the renowned conductor of the Bolshoi Orchestra, who was fired 30 years ago for hiring Jewish musicians. Now a mere cleaning man at the Bolshoi, he learns by accident that the Châtelet Theatre in Paris has invited the Bolshoi Orchestra to play there. He decides to gather together his former musicians and perform in Paris in the place of the current Bolshoi Orchestra. If they overcome the hardships ahead, this very special concert will be a triumph. The Concert is rated PG-13. Hall Pass is a movie about a married man who is granted the opportunity to have an affair by his wife. Joined in the fun by his best pal, things get a little out of control when both wives start engaging in extramarital activities as well. This movie stars Owen Wilson and Christina Applegate, and is rated R. Kill the Irishman, starring Ray Stevenson, Christopher Walken, and Vincent D'Onofrio, is based on the true story of Danny Green, a tough Irish thug working for mobsters in Cleveland during the 1970s. Kill the Irishman is rated R. Big Mamas, Like Father Like Son, stars Martin Lawrence and Brandon T. Jackson as an FBI agent and his stepson who go undercover at an all-girls performing arts school. This film is rated PG-13. From Hong Kong comes Legend of the Fist, The Return of Chen Zhen. Starring Donnie Yen, Alex Alstrom, and Qi Shu, this film focuses on Chen Zhen, a man who intends to infiltrate the mob when they form an alliance with the Japanese, by disguising himself as a caped fighter by night and taking out everyone involved to get his hands on an assassination list. Legend of the Fist is rated R. Muslim, rated PG-13, stars Danny Glover, Nia Long, and Evan Ross in the story of a socially confused college student from a strict Muslim rearing. New peers, family, and mentors help him find his place, but the 9/11 attacks force him to face his past and make the biggest decisions of his life. Insecure, rated R, is a no-holds-barred, thrilling soap opera-grade drama about David Washington, a successful yet obsessive businessman and his downfall from the pinnacles of success. Insecure stars Cordell Moore, Essence Atkins, and Denise Bouet. Last on the new movie scene is Red Riding Hood, rated PG-13. Amanda Seyfried, Lucas Haas, and Gary Oldman star in the revamped fairy tale set in a medieval village that is haunted by a werewolf. On the TV on DVD front, we kick off with Haven, Season 1. Based on the Stephen King story The Colorado Kid, this series from the Sci-Fi Channel stars Emily Rose as FBI agent Audrey Parker, who travels to Haven, Maine to investigate the murder of a local ex-con. She soon discovers that the small town is a refuge for people with supernatural afflictions, and it's up to her to unlock Haven's mysterious secrets, including the hidden truth about her past. From A&E, Glades, Season 1, stars Matt Passmore and Keely Sanchez in the adventures of a former Chicago cop who moves to a small Florida town and joins the state police. The Travel Channel offers up Man vs. Food, Season 3 this Tuesday. Follow host Adam Rich as he tours the nation on a culinary quest to find the biggest, the spiciest, and the best to eat. Last but not least in TV, the second season of Supernatural, the CW series starring Jared Padalecki and Jensen Ackles as two monster-hunting brothers bound by tragedy, hits Blu-ray for the first time this Tuesday. In classic and older films, we start with the French film 36 Precinct, previously released as 36 in 2004. In the underbelly of the Parisian crime world, the police are frustrated by a gang committing a series of violent robberies. Leo Vrinks and Dennis Klein are two cops seeking promotion, and the imminent departure of the chief sets the scene for them to compete for the vacant throne. The competition between them becomes increasingly ruthless and blurs the usual lines of morality until there seems to be no difference between the police and the criminals they chase. 36th Precinct stars Gerard Depardieu and is not rated. The Criterion Collection has 2 new titles this week, starting with Insignificance from 1985. Starring Gary Busey, Tony Curtis, and Teresa Russell, 4 1950s icons meet in the same hotel room, and 2 of them discover more in common between them than they'd ever anticipated. Insignificance is rated R. The second edition is Japanese film The Makioka Sisters from 1983, a film that chronicles the activities of 4 sisters who gather in Kyoto every year to view the cherry blossoms. The movie looks at the pre-war lifestyle of the wealthy Makioka family from Osaka, and draws a parallel between their activities and the seasonal variations in Japan. The Makioka Sisters is not rated. Coming to Blu-ray is The Boondock Saints from 1999. This R-rated cult classic stars Willem Dafoe, Sean Patrick Flannery, and Norman Reedus in the story of fraternal twins set out to rid Boston of the evil men operating there, while being tracked by an FBI agent. Also coming to Blu-ray is the 1965 unrated classic The Cincinnati Kid, a movie about an up-and-coming poker player who tries to prove himself in a high-stakes match against longtime masters of the game. The Cincinnati Kid stars Steve McQueen, Anne Margaret, and Edward G. Robinson. Johnny Mnemonic, rated R from 1995, stars Keanu Reeves, Dolph Lundgren, and Dina Meyer in the thriller about a data courier who is literally carrying a data package inside his head that is too large to hold for long, and he must deliver it before he dies from it. Last on the Blu-ray market is Point Break from 1991. Patrick Swayze, Keanu Reeves, and Gary Busey star in the R-rated movie about an FBI agent who goes undercover to catch a gang of bank robbers who may be surfers. In the direct-to-video market, The Con Artist, an unrated comedy starring Donald Sutherland, Russell Peters, and Rebecca Romaine, is a tale of an ex-con who finds his plan to go straight foiled by a loan shark who manipulates his targets into taking on one last heist. Also direct-to-video is Jackass 3.5, rated R, with Johnny Knoxville and company returning for more dangerous stunts and crude mayhem in a compilation of the footage cut from Jackass 3D. After that bumper crop of DVDs, let's take a breather and wrap this up with the quick flicks. MGM and Sony Pictures Entertainment have announced that the 23rd James Bond movie will be released on October 26, 2012 in the United Kingdom, and on November 9, 2012 in the United States. This film is still yet to be titled, but Daniel Craig is confirmed to return as 007, the agent with the license to kill in Her Majesty's Secret Service. Sam Mendes is set to direct. Jurassic Park is coming to Blu-ray. Entertainment site Slashfilm speculated about 6 months ago that the Steven Spielberg dinosaur trilogy would be released in 2011 on the HD format, and Universal Pictures has confirmed that speculation, but did not provide a concrete release date. Universal also confirmed Steven Spielberg's statement that Jaws, the classic film that made you afraid to go in the water, will be released on Blu-ray as well, but that will likely be sometime next year. Come the 2012 holiday season, moviegoers may be proclaiming, "Hi-yo, Silver!" Disney has announced that The Lone Ranger, starring Armie Hammer in the title role and Johnny Depp as Tonto, is slated for a December 21st, 2012 release. That adds one more film to an already tight month, which includes The Hobbit: An Unexpected Journey on the 14th, and 3 other big movies on the 21st. And, you know, that pesky Mayan prophecy thing. The Lord of the Rings trilogy is coming back to theaters for an exclusive 3-week engagement. On June 14th, June 21st, and June 28th, select theaters will be showing the extended edition DVD cuts of the film, along with an exclusive introduction by Peter Jackson. Go to fathomevents.com for details and to see if Middle-earth is coming to your local market. And finally, happy 30th anniversary, Indiana Jones. Raiders of the Lost Ark premiered on June 12, 1981, and became the year's highest-grossing film, bringing in $8.3 million on an $18 million budget. The film went on to spawn 3 sequels and a prequel television series. If you want to discuss anything you heard on this week's longer than normal edition, please take a moment to surf on over to chronicgriff.com and leave a note in the forums. You can also leave a voicemail at 888-886-9010, or you can write to John at chronicgriff.com. This is Michael Falkner. Thanks for listening, and remember, it's not the years, it's the mileage. See you at the theater.
That's a wrap.